So I've been thinking about how in the world am I going to bind these hot pads? And even before I went camping, or before we've gone camping, I wanted to. I don't know who makes the rules about quilting and how things should be done and in what order. It makes no sense to me sometimes. So I'm going to adjust my camera angle and I want to show you what I just did, and then I'll show you how I did it. So here's my hot pad, and I decided I wanted to do that binding where where the binding only shows on one side. So I took 1 3/4 inches of this backing fabric to create my binding, and then I sewed it on just like you would bind a quilt. Now I know it's not quilted, and that's okay. This is kind of the rule breaking part of this, but it worked really well. I'm going to be able to hand stitch this down easily. Those mitered quarters still work. I'm excited about this. So let me show you how I did it. I know. Now, for those of you who feel like you can't break the rules, or you just prefer to do it your own way, please do it your own way. All right. So I am cutting a 1 3/4 inch strip, which, because this is a 10.5 inch block, this 42-inch piece of fabric will make one piece of binding. I'm going to take it over to the iron and press it, and I'll meet you at the sewing table. Here's where the rule breaking really begins, because first of all, this hot pad is not quilted, and I don't care. Second of all, everything is laying a little off kilter. I still don't care. Now, I saw Rob Appell do one of these videos on how to put their binding on. Thank you, Rob. You helped me break a rule and change the way I approach quilting, or at least binding. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the edge of the block as our straight edge. We're going to trim the batting and later. So here we go. Lock that in a little bit. Try to get down there to the 1/4 inch mark. Which I missed it just a wee bit, but I don't care. It's going to come together just fine. There we go. Made my miter. Now, before the quilting world or the quilting police get all upset because I'm binding before it's quilted, I would never do this on a quilt, on a full-size quilt, or even a wall-size quilt. I only feel comfortable because this is such a small project, and I'm excited that it's going to work. Come on, baby. There you go. So with this 10.5 inch block, I used one width of fabric to make the amount of binding. And I'm going to cheat One more time. I hope the quilt police don't come get me. Good golly, that's tough fabric. All right. I'm going to go ahead and join these two pieces while I've got this extra here, because I need the extra to work with, right? This is my little cheat. Yes, I could measure and do all those things, but what's the fun in that? Watch this. This is going to work just fine because it's only fabric. It's not concrete. It's not wood. It's fabric. We can bend it around and make it succumb to our whim. There we go. Would you look at that? Ha ha! I am victorious! The cry of the quilter. All right, I'm going to trim all my little ends here. As you can see, I'm just taking it right to the edge of that fabric. All I'm really doing is getting the bulk down here so that once I flip it, it'll be perfect. Be careful that you don't cut your binding. That is a hazard of this approach. But again, this is all scrap fabric. This is just stuff that is now going to be useful stuff. Instead of sitting in the tubs in my sewing room. Now you can see on this end, it's a little wonky, so I'm going to be really careful with that so I don't cut that. But I just want to get this bulk down. Ha! All right, last step. So you see how I've done this? Probably pressing this would help it to go over a little easier. But for the sake of brevity, we're just going to flip it over. Then I'm going to come back and take care of these corners. All right, now remember we used that extra bit of fabric to make a miter, and guess what? You can just fold it down. Do you see how I did that? because you've got that extra fabric. Just fold it down and clip it. It's magical. It's magical. I've decided. This needs to be trimmed up a little more. It's still pretty bulky. That's better. And just fold that over. So got this one first clip down, then using that extra little bit of fabric. There, that did it. Yeah, just needed some of that bulk out. Ta-da! So, rule breaker binding on a small project only. Put the binding on before the quilting. This is going to the campground with me. It's going to be great. Thanks for watching.